My heart is really full of joy today to meet Jeanne White Eagle Pehrson again in this year's Conscious Evolution Summit. A warm welcome to you, Jeanne.
Thank you, Puria. It is an honor to be here.
Yeah. And I just will share a bit about you, Jeanne. You are a visionary, an educator, author, and speaker. And you are also co-founder and president of the Interstellar Community Foundation. Jeanne is a member of the Evolutionary Leaders organization founded by futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard, whose intent is to expand and raise the level of human consciousness on our planet. And so is this summit. So it's really beautiful to have you again. And I mean, Jeanne, maybe you can just bring us a bit into your present moment, into your reality. What is really, let's say, making your heart sing when you tune into the opportunities and possibilities which become more and more obvious in this time of crisis. And it's not a fault. I really would like to focus first on the opportunity which is opening up for us.
Yeah, beautifully said. But first, before I go any further, I want to thank you, Puria. What you're doing with this summit, I think is crucial for helping to raise the frequency on this planet. There are thousands, probably millions of us that have been called to do something in one way or another, using our skills, using our energy to help shift things on this planet. And I'm amazed at how things seem to come together. And we find that we're at a meeting point. And we all move out and go our own ways to do what we've come here to do. But somehow we always seem to come back and find each other again. Then we go out again, and then we come back again. So it's a beautiful dance that we're doing in helping to shift things here. So the opportunities, it's an interesting question. And perspective, given that the world right now is dealing with a serious global crisis, with the pandemic now that is touching millions. And it's only one thing. I mean, we can look at all the political arenas right now that seem to have gone crazy, at least in our country, that's true. But from whatever perspective we're looking, the opportunities that became very obvious to both my husband John and me when we began to see what was happening when people felt like they were threatened by disease in this case. And of course, there are all the horrific stories out there that you hear of some that may have been taking advantage of others, or people just coming from such a severe place of fear, not having enough food, not being able to pay the rent, which is beginning to become a very real thing, more so than perhaps it's ever been, not being able to live life in what most people consider normal. We are now into a new normal. I think we are creating a new normal. And the opportunities that John and I have seen occur are the opportunities for people to be kind to each other, to reach out to each other. And I was watching a report on the news yesterday of a young man who delivered newspapers. And he noticed that the people to whom he was delivering the newspapers, they couldn't leave their homes because of the restrictions that have been put in place for many locations in our country. So he began to ask them to leave a list of groceries that they might need and leave that in a place where he could get it. And so he began to get groceries for all the people that he was delivering papers to. And it has turned into something rather beautiful. And that's only one small example of people that are taking this crisis and they're going deep into their own hearts, and suddenly they're creating something that is bigger than them and something that they may not have ever even thought of until this kind of situation occurred. So the opportunity, the bottom line is people there are so many that are opening up their hearts that might not have otherwise, that are finding love, that are experiencing love in ways that they might not ever have been able to had there not been something that jarred the norm. And who would have thought that it was going to be, in this case, a pandemic? And on top of that, then you've got all the political craziness. So people are beginning to look closely inside themselves and are making choices now that they might not have made had something not happened to jar that mass consciousness in the way that it has. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just one facet of opportunity. And I wonder, I mean, you mentioned the word choice, and I deeply believe that which choices we now make are very, very crucial for what we will create. And sometimes my sense is that we underestimate the power of our choices. And I would like you to share what you found out. What does help you to really make choices which are in alignment with your values, with your heart values, and the current situation you are in? Because I noticed that sometimes, especially when people are under quite a lot of pressure, and also having huge to-do lists and ideas, what to do, what is important, and expectations, and are maybe mainly really in their head, in their mind, having really difficulties to find out what is really important, where should I focus my energy, in which direction should I go. And maybe you can, from your experience in your own life and working with so many people in groups, can share what supports us in really making choices which are in alignment.
Well, let's see if I can answer this in 25,000 words or less. A good example happened for me just a few days ago when I was having to make some pretty serious choices around some personal issues. And I have learned over the many years, and it took me a while to learn it. It's like exercising a muscle that hasn't been used. I've learned over the many years to learn to listen first. So what I did is I went out and I sat down in a chair on our deck that's right next to the forest. I mean, we're in the middle of the forest. And I got very quiet and began listening to the trees, and then listening to the breeze that was moving through the trees. But the overall experience was one of pure peace. I mean, it was just peace. So I let myself move into that space, and before I knew it, Puria, I looked up, and about 20 feet away, there was a beautiful buck, a deer, that was just standing there, and he was looking back at me. And I knew not to make any sudden moves. I didn't want to frighten him. But that moment of absolute peace, as the trees, and I felt like I was not separated from them, I almost felt like I was one of them. And the same thing with the deer. That kind of an experience for me brings everything back to the center. And then any choices I make, I'm able to make from that place. And it doesn't make any difference how much I have on my plate. Once I'm in that place, the breathing, the listening, then I'm able to move out and make choices that are much more mature and much more likely to cause a difference in a good way than if I'm in a place of chaos. Another thing I've learned to do, and it's something that we actually teach in our workshops, it's so simple, is when let's say, usually about 3 o'clock in the morning, I've started organizing the world in my head. And it's just chaos, all these voices coming from all different directions. So I've learned to breathe in the word love, breathe out the word love. So, and I'm not saying it out with my mouth, it's in my mind. So I'm breathing in love, breathing out love, breathing in love, breathing out love. And as I do that, all the chaos just simply disappears. And it does take some discipline, but it's not difficult. This isn't difficult to do. So this is one of the things that helps me personally to make choices that are much more in alignment with my own belief systems, I guess you could say. I sing every day, and we've done this before with you, and we do this all over the world. But when you create a song in the moment with no words, no thought other than that of love, and you create the sounds, the melody, the music, a song in the moment, it will only last for a minute or so, usually at the most. When you do that, you are helping to recalibrate the frequencies around you. You raise the frequencies around you when you allow yourself to be totally in the moment. Because that's when Barbara Marx Hubbard might have said, that's when the impulse of evolution can move through you with no obstacle. And that's when the vibratory field is able to help you respond in a way that you might not have been able to if you're still in a place of chaos. So singing, I sing every morning, I sing every night. And sometimes in the middle of the day. I sang just before coming here in this interview with you. John sang with me. We created the song to create a frequency, a field, so that together we can hopefully have fun.
Wow, and Jeanne, while I'm listening to you, I just wonder if you would be willing first maybe guide us a bit and take us with you in this place in the forest where people really, just an imaginary journey for a few minutes, where people joining us could just also find this place of peace, and get a taste of this frequency, how that feels and how that registers in the system. Because when you once really got it with in such a resonant field where we join now many people together, you remember that and you can more easily come back to that frequency. And maybe also at the end of this guided journey, I mean, that's a suggestion and an invitation, and I don't know if you resonate with it, doing that with us, and then maybe really also sing this song without words at the end so that we can tune into that and just get an experience of what you shared so beautifully.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's what we'll do. It doesn't take very long. Again, this is if I'm going to guess that most of the people that are watching this anyway are fairly awake, as I would say. So have probably done your own version of this. This is what I do. And if you can, first of all, let's take 7 deep breaths, inhaling slowly, exhaling slowly. And as you do so, inhale, thinking the word love. Exhale, rather than thinking, don't think. See the word love. Experience the love, but do not think. Thinking will get you into your ego space, and we're giving it a vacation right at the moment. So let's take 7 deep breaths together. And you actually can do this at the same time. Imagine yourself sitting in the middle of the most beautiful forest possible, whatever that is for you. And see the trees around you, and there may be a gentle breeze flowing. But just see the trees around you, tall hardwood trees, evergreen trees. Whatever is in your beautiful forest, be inside this forest. Experience the green, the different shades of green, and just let yourself be in that space. And then let's take 7 deep breaths together, each of us doing it at our own pace, beginning now. Breathe in love, and then breathe out love. Experience the stillness. Know that you are not separated from the forest, from the wildlife, from the earth herself, for all the beings beyond the earth. You, me, none of us are separate. There's just the one of us here. And all there really is love. And when you're ready, open your eyes. In Native descriptions, Native American descriptions, we call the thunder beings. They are old friends. And as we were doing the breaths just then, it's very gentle thunder in the distance here. So that's a good sign. Yeah. And we will sing a little bit at the end when we are done here. But breathing in this way Breathing in love, breathing out love. It's such a simple thing to do. It's not complicated, but that in itself begins to bring what is moving frenetically, bring it back into the center. And the singing will do it too. Oh, let's do a song now. Let's go ahead and do one. I don't want to wait till the end and then find that we will have forgotten. So, for those who have not done this with me before, with me or with my husband, it's a very simple thing to do again. I don't do too many things that are complicated. I like to have fun, and keeping things simple for me is good. So what the key to this is, do not think. You don't think. You simply open up your mouth and you let the sounds begin to come, and it's amazing what will happen. Let me create a song for you. You can put the intent of love there, and the intent that this will be a song, a melody, a frequency that will help to raise all consciousness, but you don't think about that. You just simply put it out there. And most of the sounds that will come are vowel sounds, pronounced as they would be in Spanish or Hebrew or so many other languages, but ah, eh, e, o, u. And if consonants come, that's fine too. Consonants act a little bit like a container, like a glass. And it's like the vowels are maybe the water that you might pour into the glass. So it helps to, the consonants help to direct the frequency, the vibration that's moving through the song. It will help to give it direction. We can talk about that maybe another time, but read my book. I brought a copy of it. Read my book, eyes open, looking for the 12, because I go into detail of the song, of the sound in that. But you don't want to think, you just want to open your mouth and let it come. So I'm going to create a song for you. This is for all of you that are watching this. It's never been sung before. All of these songs have never been sung before. And as the song is sung, it will work with the vibrational level of everyone and everything around me. And that includes all of you as well, because this is a worldwide interaction that is occurring right now. So let's see what happens here. Let me see what's going to come out, okay? I've never sung this before. For the people. Now, I want the rest of you to do this with me. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Don't think. And if you're one of these people, and many of you may have heard me say this before, if you're one of these people that somewhere along the line, maybe when you were a child or as you got older, you may have, particularly as a child, heard an adult say, children are better seen and not heard. Oh, not a good message. Maybe heard a teacher or someone saying, it'd be better if you just move your lips but don't make any sound. Well, those are the old paradigm. And it's time to let all of that go. Because the very fact that you experience yourself existing in the way you are, you yourself are a song. You're a whole field of frequencies. And you, in your case, Puria, you are the song of Puria. So this is true of all of us. So this for the fun of it, let's create a song together. And this is for everybody out there. Just open your mouth and begin to let the sound come. So I'm going to just start singing, and it doesn't make any difference. There's no right or wrong to this. It's just simply doing it. I healed myself from cancer twice using this as the fundamental tool. I have seen places after bombings have occurred using this as the fundamental tool. And I could tell you story upon story. But what this does is it creates in the moment what is needed to bring into balance what may be out of balance. And if everything is already in balance, then it operates as a beautiful tool to help keep the frequency and sustain a high frequency. So, are you brave enough to do it with me? Puria and everybody else out there? I'm just going to start singing. I'll make it very simple, okay? Ready? Hey, no, hi, ya, ne, ya, hi, yo, hi, yo, ya, na, yo, ya, no, hi, 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 yo, hi, no. Well, okay. So if you're a little bit shy about doing this, just find a single note and start singing that first. And then let go of the thinking and it'll begin to fall into place. We'll do this again before we get out of the interview today, if you're willing. And what I may do with your permission, Puria, I may yell for my husband to come in here and create with me, which will give everybody out there maybe a little bit more courage to do this with us. Remember the old story of the, Jericho? The walls of Jericho came down. That was with sound. So maybe someday we'll do an interview that's on nothing but sound, and then we can begin to explore new avenues together. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what just came to my mind was, I mean, when we are like an instrument, what this is really playing us, what did you find out? What supports you that you are such a clear instrument where the evolutionary impulse and the life force can purely use you? What supports that, Jeanne?
Yeah, you've heard me use the term clear the hollow bone. That, I've been given this global vision, as many of you know, of the interstellar universities and communities that will go up worldwide. And the purpose of it is to help sustain the higher frequency of the human race as it is waking up, so that it can then move on beyond the earth and begin to interact in a good way with beings not from planet Earth. But to get to that place, there's something that, and this is probably a very simplistic way to describe it, but it is the clearing of the hollow bone. John and I, over the many years in all of our work, in conflict resolution and in the other avenues that we have taken out to the world to present as gifts, the one thing that we know is that when a person is coming in to offer ideas, this doesn't make any difference what the environment is. Business, for instance, I come from a corporate environment and background. So does John. It doesn't make any difference if there are personal angers, personal prejudices that a lot of people don't even know they have. If there are, I mean, it's a strong word to use, but if there's hate inside, I know that I've noticed a lot of people use that word rather freely. I hate this, I hate that. Notice the power of the frequency of the word. It creates the very thing that you are putting out there. Well, when it comes to clearing the hollow bone is, if a person is carrying around hard feelings, they can be very deep. They can be feelings that are coming from abuse as a child, spouse abuse. It can be coming from prejudices that may have been fed into you as a child, which we're noticing, by the way, beginning to come to the surface now with so much happening in our country around racism. Anything like this that creates separation, the you and they, and the pointing of the fingers, and it's always out there. Anything perceived out there is carrying around and creating and confirming the creation of separation. So what I've learned for myself is the more I keep myself clear, if I find that I've got a harsh feeling inside of me, I've learned over many years, I didn't know this in the beginning, but I have learned over the many years, clear it as quickly as I can. If that means going to a person and saying, I'm so deeply sorry, I did not mean to offend you. Or if it means writing a letter, making a telephone call, whatever it means to clear out the sacred hollow bone. Each one of us is the sacred hollow bone. It's again, that's a native reference. We are sacred vehicles through which the Great Spirit blows the breath of life. It doesn't make any difference what religion you are. It doesn't make any difference what terms you use if these are terms that represent the divine essence of life. And anything that gets into the way of blocking that, then you cannot, that essence, I mean, that frequency is not able to move freely through your body. We had, and I may have actually said this on the last interview that we did a year ago, but it's coming to mind now. The Norwegians at one point who were doing a workshop there, and we were talking about this very thing. They said it's like a didgeridoo. The didgeridoo won't play if there's a banana in it. Well, this whatever represents the banana for you, the stuff, whatever represents the stuff that gets on a windshield and you can't see through the windshield clearly. You need to clear the windshield, clean it off. Then you can see clearly where to go, what turns to make. Well, this is what I mean by clearing the hollow bone, and this is something I do every single day. And I've been doing it for so long now that and it's, God knows, I make some faux pas from time to time, trip over my own tongue from time to time. But I have learned, my conscience has gotten to the place now to where it is so sharp that if I in any way feel like I have offended, or that I have somehow created separation, then I pull back, I go inside, and I do what is necessary to clear that. That is probably the most important thing I can do right now, Puria. In manifesting the vision that I've been given, doing the work that we do. If I do not do this, then I cannot walk my talk. And I have no business getting out there. And I also know this, most people do the best that they can do. Whatever that is, given the experiences they've had, given where they are in their own spiritual growth. Every person, for the most part, is doing the best that he or she can do. And I know that right now I'm doing the best that I know. And for me, I find that challenging, but I also know that it's terribly important to maintain a sense of humor. Not taking anything so seriously that you can't laugh.
Yeah, and I personally also found when I'm in such a clearing process, so really drinking clear water, being in nature, putting my body into water, moving, making sounds, all of that really helps releasing and cleansing. And I mean, some of us have more time than ever, maybe using really this time to take care and to have a look, where can I be cleaning myself more, what can I do to become really this pure and also unique instrument. I just also want to add and highlight that we as human beings, everyone is such a unique instrument, and it doesn't make sense to compare ourselves with others, but really to find out what is my authentic, pure, innocent way of letting life in spirit express through me. So that's just one thing I would like to add. And Jeanne, maybe you could use this opportunity to share a bit more about this Interstellar University, which you received in a vision, and in which kind of phase of manifesting it is, and how people could maybe find out or support or contribute.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, as it is true for all of us, it is definitely true with me. Everything that I've gone through has brought me to this point, so that I am now in a position to be able to put all of my energy into manifesting this vision that came through a recurring dream that started in my teen years. I think I was around 16 years old. And I started having this dream of these very futuristic buildings on top of a very high hill, maybe a low mountain. And I didn't know what I was seeing. And it was two scenes. I was at the bottom of this hill or this mountain looking up and seeing these buildings. Suddenly I'm inside. And inside it was a bit like a scene out of Star Trek. I'm in a hallway. One whole wall of the hallway is glass or some kind of a transparent material where I could look out and see water and see the land. It was quite pretty. All the people inside the hallway were moving in two different directions, going or coming, just like you might see in a university of people going to class, right? The thing about this particular scene is not everybody was human. There were several different species walking, communicating, talking, and going to class together, or at least walking together, talking together. And that scene of the dream lasted only a split second, just like the other one. And that, so that when I would wake up, I didn't know what I had seen. And that dream occurred over and over and over again for more than 20 years. It would go away for several weeks, then suddenly it was back, and I would see it again. It was in my late 30s, probably around 38, 39, that the dream just disappeared, and I didn't think about it again because I was busy raising children at the time, focusing on family. And it wasn't until 2009 that the dream came back. And this time it came back with details. And that had, I'm 76 years young now. And as Barbara would say, Barbara Marx Hubbard, I'm becoming newer every day. But this was in 2009 when the dream recurred. So that was about, 11 years ago. And it came back. And when it came back, then I was given all kinds of detail. And I talk about the detail in my book. I won't go into all that right now. But with it came almost what looked like blueprints. I was given a diagram of what this particular facility would look like, how it was to be built, and the results of the different designs, the positioning of the different buildings, what that would result in. And I guess the simple way to say it is this. This is a facility, and I called it in the book, I call it University and Interstellar Communications Centers. And because Barbara Marx Hubbard always found herself spitting it out, trying to say those words, we changed it to Interstellar Universities. And that was much easier to say. But the first purpose of this is to sustain the higher frequency of humanity. Anyone who would enter into this space, because of the materials that the buildings would be made out of, because of the place on the earth where the entire facility would be built, because of the entire design of this structure, the very vibrational field that it would create would help humans to sustain that higher frequency within themselves. And of course, for that to happen, there's got to be a shift occur in the mass consciousness across the board right now in order for this to succeed. And we are witnessing that now. We are witnessing that occur right now as you watch all that is happening around the pandemic, et cetera. But the consciousness is shifting. We are also at the tip of the tipping point, as Barbara used to say. And we as a species can certainly make the decision to start devolving. But my bet is that there are enough of us waking up on this planet that the human species itself is going to continue to evolve. And what the Interstellar University is, the whole concept is to sustain that field so that the human species itself doesn't slip back into the old paradigms, the old frequencies, the old way of doing things. It is time for humankind to mature. Now, here's the other piece of the vision, is as this is happening and when this happens, at the higher frequency level, the interaction with beings from other systems, the benevolent, the more evolved beings, will begin to happen in a very overt and ongoing way. We'll be able to communicate in a mature way. And I know that there are people, I get asked this all the time, but aren't there species out there who are not so evolved, who may be coming from planet to planet? And, you know, there are all kinds of stories, and we know all kinds of experiences that people have had. And the answer is, I imagine it's not all that much different than it is on planet Earth, where you've got some not so evolved species out there. But what we're wanting to do is create a vibrational field that begins to draw in those that are evolved, those that are awake, those who realize there is no separation in all the entire universes. I'm looking at something that I wrote down and brought in here, so if I found myself tripping over my own tongue, well, let me just read this. The twofold purpose of the Interstellar University: to sustain the awakening taking place in the emerging new species of human, and to create an environment where direct contact with advanced species not from planet Earth can take place on a regular basis, where overt, ongoing interactions and relations become the norm. This is where we're headed. This is inevitable. We are heading in that direction. And the thing that I come back to the clearing of the hollow bone. I'm watching what is occurring, as I'm sure most of you who are watching this interview right now, I'm watching what is occurring with some of the governments around the world now that are sending missions to the moon, planning missions to Mars, and et cetera. And when I see that, there's one part of me that's excited in the sense, great, we've got the technology to be able to do that. There's another part of me that cringes, because I think, you know, let's not take the same dramas, the same prejudices, the same hates, the same angers, the same garbage that humans have so wonderfully been creative in creating. Let's not take that out there. Let's clean up our own house first, and then we'll be ready to move out there in a good way. And I know that there are those that and I don't dispute any of this. I've had my own contact. I've had my own interactions with beings not from Earth. I know what is possible. I also have been in enough conversations with people who have had not so good experiences. And I have no judgment around any of it. I know that all of it is possible. But just like, what is that metaphor around the wolf? You've got two wolves. You feed, what is it? You feed the one wolf hate. You feed the other wolf love. And, or maybe it's, forgive me, I'm trying to remember the metaphor. Maybe you can remember the metaphor.
Yeah, it's where a child asks the grandfather, how is it? I mean, there are two wolves and I don't know which one to feed, how to be with them. He said, feed the one you want to grow, so the wolf of love you feed.
That's right. So this is the same, this is the same thing. Focus on what it is you are wanting to build. Focus on what it is you're wanting to create. Be aware of what may be happening over here, but you put your energy into what you are attempting to build and create. So I do this. John and I do this together. So, you know, we've taken a long breath with the pandemic having happened when it did. We moved in April to Tennessee, and we're about ready to get back on the bandwagon again and start moving in some very concrete ways where the foundation is concerned, the Interstellar Community Foundation. And we are very aware that we've been brought here by design. that we actually are inside the vision right now. We have been brought to a place where what is necessary for us to move up the spiral to the next level of manifesting this vision is right here, and it's right now. Much of this has to do with our 9-year-old granddaughter, who I shared before we started the official interview, is a star child. My sense is most of the children out there are star children. I mean, they're awake. Their souls are awake. They see spherically. They don't see linearly. And where so many of these children have difficulty is when our systems, educational systems, parental training, etc., tries to put these children into boxes. They cannot be. They cannot thrive in that kind of an environment. They need to be nurtured because they can bring in massive amount of information, but they also are very aware. So you nurture that in these children. And so our one of the primary reasons I know we were brought here was for her, because she represents millions across this planet now, these children that are awake. So, and there are many other, reasons why we've been brought here, but that is one of the key pieces. So I think the vision itself it's manifesting, and we've got people now that are coming in from all over the world that contact us through email. We're doing Zoom calls. We're doing whatever's necessary to help build the network, find the network, find the people who know that they're somehow part of this.
And is there already a vision where this could be in a physical place? Is it already becoming more concrete, or still not that much?
We already have Michael Tribe, who is the master architect. Michael's been with us ever since the last few years, the last 6 or 7 years now. I call him the master architect because he's the one that is actually feels like he is one of his reasons for being here is to help take from what I've seen and put it into physical reality. So he's been working on blueprints, and we will be attempting to get an architectural team put into place very soon. Last year, what year we were in 2020, the spring of last year, we were in Western Australia looking at possible land. And then in April of last year, we were in Peru looking at the possibilities of land there. We still have to make a trip back to Peru, but we're waiting for that to happen in a natural way once the pandemic takes a breath here. But there are many ways for people to play. Probably the best thing right now, if anyone is interested, just send me an email. Anybody who's watching this interview, send me an email. And my email is jwhteagle@aol.com. And if you're not sure about that, anybody, then write Puria. She'll give it to you.
I will also put it in letters under the video so that it's easy to find out. And I just imagined that you would also need really quite a lot of resources financially. So, I mean, I saw that there was or still is a fundraising campaign. Is it still active if people really resonate with it and would love to support it financially?
Thank you. We're going to, that also as a result of the move and the pandemic has just caused us to do things a little bit differently. But we started a GoFundMe campaign actually at the beginning of the year. And that is still in place. We have not pushed it as much as we could and as much as we will, but that's only one phase. We are looking now at what phases are necessary for us to do in order for us to manifest the monies that are needed. So that's, and we'll keep everybody in, in the loop on that. You can also go on to, we need to update this. Things have happened so rapidly that we're trying to keep everything in place. But you can also go on to Interstellar Communities, InterstellarCommunityFoundation.org on that's our website. And it will give people some information, give people a way to donate through PayPal if they wish. But yeah. So.
Wow, wonderful. And I'm really looking forward this beautiful vision taking also a visible form here in our world on this earth. So, and Jeanne, you mentioned that maybe at the end you would also invite your husband to join us and maybe sing a song which was never sang before with us.
Song never sang before, yeah, right. Hey, excuse me, I'm going to yell here just a minute. Hey, John, will you come sing with me? I also want to invite people to, maybe if you haven't read the book, I suggest that you get the book. It's not that I'm a great author, but it does spell out pretty clearly the vision that I was given. You can get it through Amazon.com, but it's Eyes Open Looking for the 12.
And I mean, Jeanne, when I received it, I read it in one day. So it's really, when you are in it, it's so exciting and you want to know more and you don't want to wait. So I just read it.
Good. Glad to hear you say that. I'm going to move the computer just a bit. So, hello, everybody. This is my sweet husband, Jeanne Pehrson.
Hi.
My partner in crime. Good crime. Okay, so let's do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sing a song that's never been sung before. And it's fun. It is fun. But it also, remember what it does. It will bring anything that is out of balance back into balance. It raises the frequency of everything and everyone around you. I can say this as sometimes I'll find myself in a store. And if there seems to be chaos around me, and it depends on the time of day and depends on what the store is, I will find myself creating a song very quietly, under in a very quiet way. And it shifts things. It shifts the frequency inside the store. So yeah, get the book. It'll give you some experiences in there. Okay, shall we do this? So I'm just going to start singing. I will ask John to come in after me. Just listen to us for just a few seconds. And then when you're ready, you begin your song. And if it's one note to start with, great. Do one note. And then just allow yourself to move into whatever is moving through you. Remember what I said. This is like the breath of the universe moving through you. This is, we create worlds this way. Okay, here we go. Hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, for the people. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Everybody, in the morning, get out there and create a song. Before you go to sleep, create a song. and begin to notice what happens to you, not just physically, but what begins to happen to all the many different levels of consciousness, because what you will be doing is raising that frequency and helping to sustain the awakening taking place in you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you also, John, for joining us at the end of our conversation and helping raising the frequency. And I want to thank you for holding the vision, for being available, for manifesting your vision, for being available that this beautiful songs can move through you. And I also want to thank you in the audience that you take this time being with us and contributing to this resonant field, this heart loving resonant field, and bringing consciousness into our way of how we evolve. And remember what we said, your choices matter. The power of choice is often underestimated, and Jeanne gave you beautiful, easy, simple yet powerful tools, how to align, how to clean, how to be an instrument and bring your song, your action into the world. And I thank you for joining us and hope to see you in the next interview. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.